our superintendent, and we'd like to welcome you to our, as we kick off the school year, our first Coffee with Larry. We do this on the first Friday of each month. We do this to just stay updated, district happenings. It kind of started from, we were having a lot of coffees, community town hall meetings throughout the campaign of J+C, which was the renovations at Jeff City High School and the new Capital City High School. So it just kind of, that's where it kind of started. And so we're continuing this, and this is actually kind of expanded to each of our buildings. We had Coffee with Larry yesterday morning at the high school with all the high school staff. We had it on Tuesday after school with the Thorpe Gordon staff. So we're doing one school a week throughout the entire school year. So we're rotating, we have 18 buildings, so we're going to do that. So we are going to continue to focus on building unity and being stronger together in our community. Even when we have speed bumps along the way, we are going to continue to focus on unity. We're in this together, have the difficult conversations if need be. So we are excited about that. So anyway, welcome. I'd like to first start. We'll start with Joe. If you're a staff member for our school district, if you would introduce yourself just so everybody kind of knows who's here and your role within the district. So Joe, would you start please?
Joe Mark, Director of Technology.
Ryan Burns, Director of Communications.
Gary Ruswani, Summersby Secondary Education. We have had a wicked awesome start to the school year.
Lori Ross, I oversee elementary, and we have had a good start to the school year. Good morning, I'm Jolie Starr, Human Resource Director.
Okay, and thank you, Chris, Sue, Stephanie.
Sue Bass, Stephanie Satterfield,
Okay, Frank.
Frank Underwood, Director of Facilities.
And we have two board members here, which they could introduce themselves. So I want to thank them, Lorelei Schwartz and Ken Enlow, two of our board members. All of their the large paycheck that they get for being on the Board of Education and being here this morning. That we appreciate their volunteering efforts. We appreciate them and their time, and thank you guys for being here. So we're going to start off here. We have a new district website. We want to. I talk to my mother every morning. I just got off the phone with her on my way here, and we wanted something that not that Rosalie Linthicum, life according to her, but is it easy to use? Is it easily accessible? Can you find things? We want to have a little bit of a. That's pretty great. Our vision to be the premier school district in the state. So we'd like to have the premier website. We'd like to have a premier Coffee with Larry. Everything we do, we're just trying to raise the bar with that. So I was saying that to my mom, because she would say, I couldn't find something, and so, okay, hi mom, I think she's watching online, so hello mom. So anyway, let's go ahead and show, we have a little video here that's on our district website.
This was our video that we used to unveil our new brand to all of our staff this year at opening session.
What is strong? Sticking together when times get tough, because we know the outcome is worth it. Lifting each other up, because together the goal is possible. Believing in yourself, your team, your community, and knowing there is power in numbers. That two is better than one. What is strong?
This city.
And because of the city's strength, its support of public education, its expectation of excellence, we have something exciting to share with you. Welcome to the new Jefferson City School District. Guided by our history and legacy established in 1838, driven towards the future, towards untapped potential in student success. We're ready to see what else we can accomplish.
And we are so excited.
So excited.
So excited.
To see how this will make our district even stronger. The sky's the limit.
Together, we can give every student hope for a better tomorrow. Okay, so we are super excited about that. Our logo, and what kind of started from that, I don't have my new one here on name tag yet, but we are getting those. Our JC, that has traditionally been Jefferson City High School, has been our district-wide logo. And we asked our staff about 4 years ago, after my first year, as we looked at our district-wide logo, we had the JCPS with a curvy pencil under that, and we asked our staff. We had 5 options, and they voted. And 2 to 1, our staff wanted the JC logo that we currently have over what we currently have. So we switched to that, and the question was asked during the time that we knew there were discussions about a second high school. What will happen to our district-wide logo if we pass a second high school? Because there was an assumption that Jefferson City High School would want to keep their JC. And I said, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Well, we crossed that bridge. And so our district-wide logo, which it had up here, basically, I just printed this off. I don't have stickers, it's just a piece of paper that I cut and pasted on here. Of our logo, but we wanted something that embraced Jefferson City High School, Capital City High School. We wanted something that was timeless. We don't want to be changing our logo every year. We wanted something that was recognizable across the state. Our vision is to be the premier school district, so it needs to be recognizable. And we want something that's inspiring to folks. The seal of what that stands for when you have the seal. So we are super excited about it. It's got established here in 1838. That's when our school district was founded. And our name. So our name, we didn't change our name. Our name, according to our documents, the government documents, we are the Jefferson City School District. We're not Jefferson City Public Schools. We've called ourselves Jefferson City Public Schools. So we're not, did you change? No, we didn't change anything. We're just going by the actual name. My name's, I said this at opening session. My birth certificate says my name is Larry. Is it really Lawrence? No, it's Larry. We're really Jefferson City School District. We didn't change our name. We're just going by our original name. And so we're excited about that. So, a lot of information you may or may not care about, but I did want to kind of give an update on that. Carrie Ganford is here with Architects Alliance. Jefferson City High School, the renovations there, Capital City High School. I asked him to come and give an update. He does this each month for us. We are on time. We are under budget. We are super excited about that, of following through with what we said we were going to do. So, Carrie, if you come forward and give us an update on both of our projects.
I'll try to talk loud enough so everybody can hear me. Let me know if you can't hear. Boy, lots happened over the summer. I'll start with Jefferson City High School. Typically, we have about $2 or $3 million per month of construction happening at both sites. Over the summer, with the students gone and the contractor having control of the entire site, we've completed $6 to $7 million per month at Jefferson City High School. So it's a lot different site when the students aren't there. The contractor has the entire thing. We love the students, but boy, we get a lot of work done when they're not around. The areas of the building, as you know, Jefferson City High School is divided into areas A through G. So I'll just run through each one of those quickly. Area A is Nichols Career Center along Jackson Street. It is basically complete. If there are items not complete, it's because it's still on order. So it's complete and occupied. Area B is also Nichols Career Center, both floors, but towards the high school. Same thing, complete or mostly complete, inspected, approved by municipal officials, and occupied. Area C is the area of the connector. Dale, tell me if I get this wrong. Dale and Martha are here from Nabholz Construction. They're our partner in this. Where am I? Area C is the connector along Union Street. It is still under construction and will be under construction until January. It is new facilities of lobbies, entryway, stairs along Union Street. Union Street, as I understand it, is now owned by the school district. The school district is in charge of maintenance and repair. They're also in charge of control of it, whether it's for vehicular traffic or whether it's contractor staging areas. Area D is also the new connector, but it's towards Franklin Street, towards J Drive. It's the new entrance. It's the counseling area, the admin. It's basically the new interior image of the school. Still under construction. We haven't been able to show that to the public yet. So when you go to Capital City High School, you walk in the front door, you see the image of the school, you see all the school spirit areas. When you walk into JC, you have to slip into a corridor. JC is still under construction. We don't have that new image, that school spirit area complete. It's all brand new and it's still being worked on. So we've seen the interior image of CC. We haven't seen the interior image yet of entryways and sequence at JC yet. That's yet to come in December and January. Area E is gymnasiums. Fleming Fieldhouse, the original gymnasium, is still under construction. It's mostly complete. The school spirit graphics on the wall are not there, but new ceiling, new lighting, that's all complete and being used by the students, even though the sort of POW areas are yet to come by the end of the year. The other gymnasium is the auxiliary gym along Union Street. It is the site storm shelter. It is under construction. It will be completed again by the end of the year. Area F is science. If you know where science is, if you went to school there, on the north side towards Franklin Street, all those classrooms have been emptied, completely redone. Science being the most intensive because of the utilities, and it's now occupied by students. And then Area G along Lafayette Street, classrooms are finished there. The other thing that gets a whole new look and facelift is the Little Theater in the lower level of Area G. So those are the areas. Safety remains a top priority. All remaining work to be completed by January 2020. There's a lot of discussions between the school district and Nabholz. As areas finish, Nabholz is inspecting those, the city's inspecting them, the design team, we're doing punch lists of it, but we're actually turning those areas over early. So as areas finish, they're turning those over to the owner, to the district, and that's actually ahead of schedule. The entire thing will be January of 2020. To add a little interest to it, furniture is showing up. Furniture is not always assembled when it shows up, so in addition to moving faculty into classrooms, their belongings have been in storage, getting students to the classroom and orientated, furniture is arriving and being assembled and moved in. And at the same time, the contractor's still there doing work. So that's an enormous collaboration effort. And hats off to the district for heading that effort as far as getting faculty and students into classrooms and start of school. Major categories of work still at JC. Paint is 70%, HVAC is 90%, elevators 80%, storefront glazing 80%, structural steel 90%. With the overall percentage of JC High School, all disciplines is about 84% complete. Martha Vale, tell me if I messed that up. Adkins Field, synthetic turf has been replaced. The press box was damaged by the tornado. They'd already had upgrades planned for freshening up of the outside and new windows. So now it's doing that and the repair of the storm damage. Same with the locker room buildings. Some interior renovation of the Adkins locker room building and an exterior facelift on that. That was completed this summer. That's a separate contract. We have received a lot of feedback, a lot of very positive feedback about the building. Somebody else is more qualified to talk about that than me, but I will tell you the number one thing is the feedback from the parents, the students. The feedback from the students has been phenomenal, and that's really the one we really like to hear. On Capital City High School, it of course has continued under construction throughout the summer. The big thing there is that 9th and 10th grade students have arrived. So we have a construction site on lower levels and upper levels of gymnasiums. We have an operating school in the center. So your main entries, cafeteria, kitchen, one level of classrooms, admin area. Those are all up and running and functional. Below that, classrooms, above that, classrooms, and the gymnasiums and fine arts wing is still under construction. So fine arts now is happening in a generic classroom until the fine arts, those are a little more intensive with construction until those are complete. Most of the outdoor landscaping is in place. You see the track and the fields coming along, they're complete, soccer's complete. Still under construction, you see tennis courts, tennis pavilion, and a combination baseball, softball field. That's still under construction, but moving along very quickly. Still have our team in place as far as DLR's engineering group, ACI Bolin, the architectural group, the Architects Alliance, Central Missouri Professional Services here in town, and Engineering Surveys and Services, all still working with the contractor to make sure that it's to the requirements of the construction documents. We've also had to remain on call basically daily, if not weekly, to respond to Naples Construction. They're managing the entire construction effort. We show up when they need an area inspected, so it can be punch list and a temporary certificate of occupancy issued, and the city's all right with occupying the building. Major categories of work. You think about utilities, steel, concrete, steel, doors and frames, that's all 80 or more percent complete. Glazing's 90%. The building looks complete on the outside. A lot of things happening on the inside. Electrical's 90%, asphalt 70, and the overall sports fields are 70% as well. Overall is 80% complete. So it is a functioning school. It looks complete on the outside. There's a lot happening inside. A whole bunch of learning and a whole bunch of construction on the other 2 floors. Any questions about Capital City or JC High School? Otherwise, again, ahead of schedule and on budget. Thank you, guys.
One question.
Yeah.
Then, last week we had some unexpected water features at Jeff City High School. How is that been addressed? And, I mean, was that taken care of by Naples? Is that something, an area that was already been checked off and signed off? Or how that?
Yes, and there's more items than just that. There's punch list items that we generate, and the contractor can come back and finish those when the students aren't around. It could be as simple as a piece of cabinetry missing, or it could be a damaged area of paint. There is pages and pages of that stuff with a new construction project. Naples will be working on that through the entire semester. If it's a code issue, we come on site, Naples asks us to, and the city comes on site. Do you want to talk about the water issue yourself?
Would you please, David?
With the windows replaced, infections,
Flashing he's referring to is something you can't see. So you assume it's in there correctly and working. Could be a hole in the flashing or something like that, or a misinstallation. But it's under the frame and you don't see it. So all these windows have flashing. If it's not working, it would be dripping in here.
Those windows are water tested also after they're installed. They just had not done the water testing of those windows at that point to ensure the flashing is doing its job prior to. The rain helped that out, obviously, but they just hadn't got to that stage of testing those windows. They're sealed.
All the glazing windows on JC and Nichols get replaced. And so that's also going to make a great improvement in the heating and cooling of the building. The heating and cooling new systems are based on the new glazing coming in. It's a much different engineering calculation. But JC is nearly complete with new windows. Nichols Career Center is yet to come.
Was there any interior damage from that? I mean, ceiling tiles or anything like that?
Nothing I'm aware of.
Here's the city college.
Is there a timeline on the school board?
That is actually not in Nabholt's contract, so I'll let
Jason, do you have the scoreboard at JC High School?
Currently, they've got all the core holes drilled into supports. They had to go and re-engineer them, redesign them, so they've cored all the holes. They set the anchors yesterday. Today, they're doing pull tests on them. and then they'll be setting up the uprising painting, and then we're still working with Daktronics. The 11th was the date that they told us that the scoreboard would be going up. We're still trying to get a hold of them to confirm that date, make sure that that happens prior to the first home game. Or they do have the scoreboards up on the Weber building. I don't know if you saw those video boards up under on the Weber, and those are functioning. The electronics are up in the press box. Press box was just completed 2 days ago, so the cleaning and final details, that's happening at this time. But the scoreboards, if everything's planned, it should be the 11th, 12th, 13th is when they'll have it up and ready to go.
Number one, I'm glad we approved those scoreboards with the movable scoreboards. And thank you to your team for getting that field ready for that home game on Saturday unexpectedly. And we were able to use that portable scoreboard at the end, right?
Yeah.
So I understand your team did a lot of work to get that done late Friday night, so thank you.
We did. We
for that.
came in and got it ready.
In regard to the school district, Frank and his team have a district to maintain, and they also have 2 major construction projects happen. It wouldn't be successful or near as smooth as it's been without the coordination of the school district staff, with Napolz, the general contractors, and the city. So, very good job on doing that. Still have 1 more semester to go. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Kerry, for that. And it has been, we talk about a team effort being strong together. I mean, the scoreboard at Jeff City High School was damaged with the tornado, the new scoreboard. So, in response to that, and last Friday night, Jeff City Jays were playing at Kirkwood, and because of weather, it was moved here to Jefferson City on Saturday. And so that's why it was supposed to be a home game. We always welcome folks here in our facilities whenever we can host and have a home field advantage from a competitive standpoint. But safety is kind of what was the underlying driver of that. So I wanted to have, I asked, but then before you bring it up here, we will have tours of completed projects on Sunday, January 12th, 1 p.m. at Jeff City High School and 3 p.m. at Capital City High School. And we're going to open the doors, and we're going to have tours. We want to have the times. We're not exactly the same time, so if folks want to go to both, they could. We've got a walkthrough tour here, virtual tour, I guess. So if you bring that up and start at whatever you have up there first. And it's changing daily, but we can see here, and I don't know how today the last one here is.
These videos were filmed on the 14th, which was a week before the start of school. So a dramatic amount of work occurred between when these were filmed and the first day of school, and still even now. They're about 4 minutes long, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
There's sound if you want, but it's just music.
Yeah, but it's a little background. Coffee.
That's, by the way, the entryway to the entire project.
Narrate that.
Yeah, could you guys narrate?
Figure out.
This is walking towards Union Street. You're walking towards the stadium. Here you're looking down into the second gymnasium, still under construction. These are the shop areas, sorry. Nichols River Center. This is the week before school.
Very nervous.
More shops. This is not on kitchen. Living, redone kitchen.
So this is cafeteria,
Yes.
not the public.
Oh, yes. Beyond that, you see the cafeteria. That's the original ceiling that was there when it was first built. That's been covered for years. To your left is looking out to the courtyard. Where looking towards the main house. That's the trophy case. J-Bar is in the area.
Let's walk backwards.
That's the wall to Fleming Fieldhouse. This is Fleming Fieldhouse. And there are there's still graphics that have to come on that high white wall. Seeing out, lighting,
Sound system?
teenage area, classrooms on that. This is the, one of the training rooms that are on the old stage. See the old porch right here. On the stage, and the outdoors. Gym. This is a typical corridor.
Science
Science
hall.
lab. All their science equipment.
Those windows in
This is area F. Science storage. Adjacent lab. This part of the school is blue, so you kind of know where you are.
different.
Yes. This is looking out to the courtyard. Imagine looking at the weight of this fact that this items were moved in, this furniture smashed, these students' problems.
Thank you, Ryan. And can we go to Capital City High School? While she's doing that, any questions with Jeff City High School? Okay.
This is the front entrance. Drones coming from 179. The gymnasiums in the foreground.
travel light. Back the main entrance. That's from the ground level, we'll be looking towards the main entrance.
In the art room.
That's a movable wall. Storm shelter areas. Last one. Easy. See the football field, soccer field, track, to the right is tennis and baseball construction.
Any questions at Capital City High School?
Notice there's no lockers with the, where kids go, like personal items, they just carry everything. We actually, in the programming effort, time, interviewed students and faculty. We're down to 10% of students using lockers. So this. I guess
No, you're good. I'm right there with you. Great question.
They don't have books.
Yeah.
They just have iPads.
So like books and stuff, I mean,
They don't wear them Number two, they carry them with them.
we had elections since then, and it's like, oh, parents, talk to parents, things like that, my kid won't wear it. I buy them. I used to buy them, I don't buy them anymore. There are lockers, like lockers. Yeah. They do go, they do still have a few hundred lockers for the students that want them. Yeah. There's areas to put more, so that they train them back to use lockers. Got it. JC, a lot of them are taken out and used in other places, like, lockers in the shop area. So there's, did have lockers. But there's some left for students that do want to use. Okay.
Good question. So one thing I wanted to touch on, as you can see, the facilities and the outdoor facilities. So through the J plus C campaign, we would have practice facilities at Capital City High School. And you could say those are pretty nice practice facilities. The whole time the plans were at a later date, we would be having phase 2 at Capital City High School for competition. Those are for practice. So right now, Capital City will have their football games at Atkins Stadium, and as they will be sharing with Jeff City High School. They will be sharing soccer with Jeff City High School at 179. Our baseball will be sharing at Vivian. Our softball will be sharing at Riverside, I believe. And tennis, Washington Park will be sharing with them the pavilion and the tennis complex that Carrie touched on at Capital City High School will be used for competition for both schools when that is complete. What I want to touch on, there are plans for a phase 2 for competition at Capital City High School. Along with that, for a phase 2 at Jeff City High School. We want all of our students, regardless whether you live, elementary boundaries, middle school, it doesn't matter, you're going to have the same opportunities. And so through that, we want to have our facilities-wise and athletic facilities that you have the same opportunities regardless of where you live. So that is something that is in the works, and we are working on that again. We want to ensure that all of our students have the same opportunities. So that is something that is in the works. I think we're being consistent with what we said throughout the campaign of practice facilities, and they are using as practice facilities at Capital City High School, but plans for competition there and plans at Jeff City High School to have their own facilities within the campus of Jeff City High School. So just wanted to touch on. Yes, absolutely.
So can you elaborate on that? When will the first football game, first baseball game, first soccer game, tennis court match, whatever, when will those start occurring at?
Capital City High School. I don't have an answer. We do, starting next week, an athletic facilities focus group. We're starting next week. We do have plans. We have drawings for ideas. No final plans have been determined. Here's exactly when and where, determining dollars, determining funding for that. We still have space issues as a school district, K through 8. We have crowding in our middle schools. We have overcrowding in our elementary schools. So it is a part of a larger plan. I don't have a date. We do, I know folks are asking. I get asked that a lot more versus the trailers at Thomas Jefferson. They want to know when we're going to have games in Capital City. We understand those things are important. So I don't have an answer. We'll keep folks updated. We'll talk with the board here. There are plans, but it does cost money, and we want to ensure we're being good stewards of our patrons' tax dollars throughout this process. So,
Except tennis, that's gonna happen pretty quick.
say that again.
Tennis, they're gonna start playing in Capital City in the spring.
Correct. We want to provide a tennis venue that was safe for our students for both Capital City and Jeff City High School. That is the only one right now, and we hope that will be used this spring there at Capital City High School.
In that same vein, it was mentioned, I think we do this the whole time, that the gymnasium for Capital City isn't going to be open until January 2020. I think the last plan I heard, that's been a while since I've been on these, was that we would do all the sciences, obviously, and data, that correct, how that would be accountable or whatever. But what are the students in the current fall semester that are at Capital City doing for physical education?
Gary, can you touch on that?
And it's been a little bit of a challenge, primarily the way we're, they haven't actually observed the class, I know that's what they're going to be, so, some type of exercises, agilities, weightlifting, we're doing the best they can with the space they have. They get out there and they can go outside now and use, on nice days, they can use the football field, track. I saw the cheerleaders doing flips on the track, somebody posted something to it, so they don't have a gym space, but they're doing everything else.
Robert's done a good job, the athletic director over at Capital City. He's sharing space with TJ. They even went to Lawson with some of their practices. Yeah, and so he's done a good job coordinating that, making sure that they had facilities to do what they need to do until it's complete.
Come January, issue.
Right.
Right. And as far as after school volleyball, coordinating that with Thomas Jefferson, using their gymnasium for volleyball, we know it will be a challenge when November gets here, October, November next month, as far as with basketball practice once that starts, and sharing that. So it will be some coordination. It will not be ideal. Hopefully folks will see the light at the end of the tunnel with that. So great question. Okay, I wanted to touch on one thing that's a change from last year was our start time. So we have all of our elementary schools start at 7:45 in the morning. Both high schools start at 8:40 in the morning, and both middle schools start at 8:50 in the morning. Initial response, other than busing, and I'll touch on that, other than busing, has been very, very positive. The start times, after the month of September, we're going to look at our secondary buildings attendance this year compared to attendance last year with having later start times, looking at tardies, just for a comparison to see initial after 1 month, apples to apples, same time last year to see what that looks like. So we'll report that at our October coffee with that. Because of the tiered system and the ripple effect with our busing, it is a work in progress. There's a lot of different parts to it. We have to own it. It's getting better, but it's not where we want it to be with regard to our busing. Jason, would you touch on just kind of a higher level, and you can ask any questions here, but as far as with our busing and where we are and what we're doing here to get better with our busing.
So
Busing early in the school year is always an issue as we try to get new students routed and get people into their routines and patterns. And so this year, we changed everything, and so the elementary routes are going very smooth. It's always best to be so we run a tiered routing system. So all of our buses run a route for an elementary school, then they run a route for a secondary school. So the first route, that's the much better spot to be. So the challenge is getting those buses to their secondary spots. And so AM transportation, I think, is going very well. The PM, where we're struggling a little bit, is and it's just the sheer volume of the number of buses that we have. We have 30 buses at Jefferson City High School, 31?
Yeah.
And so right now we're loading 31 buses at Jefferson City High School. 29 of them go to Lewis and Clark. And so we're loading all those buses, going to Lewis and Clark and loading them there and then taking students home. And so our pinch point has been at the middle schools. And so we have 24 buses at Capital City High School that then go to TJ. So we're meeting today to try and make it a little bit better. And we've been getting better every day, and we think we have a plan that we can make it even better starting next week.
And one thing that the tiered routing, generally speaking, one bus route costs us $45,000 to run a bus route a year, $45,000. If I can drive a route, an elementary route, and then after I run the route, then go to a secondary route, that second route, if I can do it as a tiered, costs us $4,500. That second one, so under $50,000 for two, versus if I just had two separate routes, costing $45,000 each would be $90,000. So stewardship is that important piece. We need to make sure we coordinate that, and as Jason touched on it, it's getting better. We know it's an area we've got to get better. So that's kind of an update on this. So any questions on that for Jason or I? Yes, you're good.
I don't have a problem with the tiered routes. I don't have an issue with the fact that I know there's going to be issues at the beginning of the year. There always is. It's just the nature of the beast. I have a problem with first not communicating with the parents. We got the initial bus route for our kids. They changed the routes after the fact and didn't notify us. Same happened with our next door neighbor. So fortunately, I had good communication with the driver at the time, which that's another subject. Good communication with the driver at the time, so I was able to text her back and forth to find out that they changed the location of my son's pickup, which is not a safe location to begin with. So I was irritated about that, but my neighbor's daughter missed she missed 2 days of school because they didn't notify anyone on our road that the route had changed. They saw fit to call me and tell me the time was going to change, but they didn't tell me the location of the pickup was different. The location that they have is unsafe. It's on a gravel road, on a turn, and on a hill. So when we got the initial routing information, the bus was coming down our road, which was great, and then we have a cul-de-sac which they can turn around at, and they have to do a 3-point turn, obviously, but it's there, and then they can come back. Now my neighbor called and had a whole issue. I don't know how she got them to change coming back to her house, but they're refusing to change the location in the system. It's agreed that they will still come down our road, but they won't change it in the system. So if that bus driver is sick and we have sub, our kids are going to miss school. They'll be late. So I tried to call and got nowhere with the routing lady. I'm now our third driver. I don't know what happened to the first driver. I think they switched her out. Second driver, she was the driver we had last year. She was great, communicated with us very well. I don't think First Students treats their drivers with very much respect, to the fact that she ended up quitting, but then they brought her back, but they won't put her back on our route. So now we have a third bus. I just got a text from my oldest daughter. They saw a bus break down. We're in what, second week of school. I saw bus 201 being towed down the highway the other day. Bus 203 broke down this morning. The buses are just junk. My kids, they are the first ones on the bus every morning. My son is in second grade. He's on the bus at 6:15. He is bused to school, gets there at 7:30. My daughters spend an hour and a half on the bus in the morning. And then in the afternoon, if they ride the bus home, they are the last ones dropped off. So my kids spend 4 hours on the bus. And I don't understand why the routes aren't run backwards. To me, especially if the buses at Callaway Hills are housed at Callaway Hills, why you wouldn't run the bus route the way it's supposed to be and then run it backwards so that the last kid that is dropped off is right next to the school where you're parking it, because you're wasting gas by having to drive all the way back. Just some of the examples I've had, it's just really poor communication from first students. We're just so frustrated. It is ridiculous.
Can we visit after this? I'd love to get your name and
Sure.
your number and
More than that.
thank you.
And I appreciate you sharing that. And I'm sorry it's not been a great, you're like, it's not even been fair. So I want to say, hey, I'm sorry it's not premier great. That is our goal, and I am sorry. And we are working through some things. And so if you'll talk, we'll address every single one. As a general rule, if you get on the bus early and have more ride time in the morning as a general rule than after school, since you know, was on the most in the morning, as a general rule, then you would be one of the first off. It's a general rule. Not always. It's an ideal situation that first off you know life is first.
It's never been that way for 8 years.
Okay. I don't know exactly where you live, but we'll work through that, and again, we have to own that, and hopefully we can improve that process for you, so I appreciate you sharing. Any other questions or comments on as far as busing or start times along that line? Okay. All right, thank you, Jason. Thank you for those comments. What questions, as we move forward as a school district at the start of the year, we have a lot of great things going on in the classroom with our principals. We're asking our principals to lead the learning and make sure that they have the tools to equip them to ensure their teachers can connect with our students and everything we do. At the end of the day, student success is what we're about. And successful in the classroom, successful outside the classroom, getting involved in whatever activities that they do. So we are we're excited about that. We'll be giving the updates here along that line and what that looks like each month as we work through that. So what questions? I want to, the last 15 minutes or 12 minutes, again, I want this to be very informal. Come and go get a refill, whatever you need to do as far as here. But what questions do you have for me or any of our departments? We'll go anywhere. We'll say, here's the answer, or I don't know, and I'll get back to you, or I can get into that. What questions do you have for me or any of our folks?
Have we heard any feedback on the 7th period versus the block schedule so far yet this year?
We, as far as from students, parents, staff, all, I think it's the same as when we make a change. I think the majority like it, but usually hear from those who don't like it or like for example, secondary level, your art classes or science classes with math, which we knew going in that there would be one single perfect for every course for every department. But again, this all started when the secondary districts at about 80% of the teachers said they don't have enough time to teach content, teach it well. We gain time by doing the course over the entire year. So the majority, it's going to be a slow. Is it at 100%? No, it's not 100%, but it's, let me size it out. What's going to be for all of our kids who are struggling with electric motors to have it all year instead of at a very fast pace for half the year. It's too soon. It is.
The general from students, I try to go to a different building every day and ask, hey, at the secondary level, I've not heard one negative. It has been, man, the school days just fly by. I mean, we talk about student being able to, the stamina of student being able to stay focused for 84 minutes in a classroom is something that is challenging for some of our students. So having a 50-minute class versus 84 minutes, the time goes by. I think they're enjoying it more so far. That's what I've heard from students at the secondary level working with it. So.
How about the cell phone policy? We've gotten a lot of pushback from the new cell phone policy.
Received 2 emails, 2
But we still have Wi-Fi articles, which want me to turn the Wi-Fi on, right? Yep, I heard on the news story that their Wi-Fi is
Correct.
on their building, so
Correct.
their kids can't even get connected on Wi-Fi at lunch. So, okay.
Our staff, we surveyed our staff, and over 94% of our staff said that these little darlings in our pockets were a disruption to the learning environment. So we want to make sure that our students can stay engaged, and that our staff and our teachers are connected with our students, and for that not to be a disruption to the learning environment. So. Okay, we will be hanging around here, stay around, coffee, we have decaf as well.